to Freighter SH's Immortal Hours, and this is the Power Glove Congress. A uh, a tapestry, a gallery that collects a tapestry of classic NES games, and that we love our old NES games. We gotta, first off, we're gonna discover Super Mario Brothers. I was quite incorrect. We are going kind of in order here. First show we played Super Mario Brothers. The second show we actually played Duck Hunt. This is great stuff. First I need to introduce everyone. Here is Mr. Peck, bad Mr. Peck. That's right. And remember, it's bad. I'm a bad guy. I'm the heel. I'm the bad guy. I'm the bad guy. And I uh, uh Frater is the best host. He's the best host with the most. And and of course, I was very proud to see Duck Hunt again. You know, wonderful stuff, great stuff. And then, of course, my other co-host here is IG88. IG88, introduce yourself.
I am very glad to be here on the Power Glove Congress. And it will be pleasure to talk about Duck Hunt. I am a super-powered computer that doesn't put up with any shit.
Yeah, and he doesn't put up with any shit. Well, that's apparently a good thing here. See, that's the thing is difference between us and those other idiots on Mechatronic. We don't put up with shit here, okay? We don't put up. That we address issues right here on the air and we get it over with. Over there, the real Mr. Peck, he's a he's a complete joke now. He's pretty clearly become washed up. He gets played every day. He gets pranked by these oversized man-childs, and it's pretty pathetic. Pretty pathetic. I didn't put up with any of that. Being the bad Mr. Peck. That's a sad thing. Yeah, you don't put up with anything. I mean, you really do take care of things, and well, yeah. I mean, you don't if you don't fall in line, if someone doesn't fall in line, Freighter, I start making nasty NPCs that will harass you and stuff. So yeah, this is very real stuff. Oh, it is. Yeah. Now we got to introduce, of course, the very very beloved Freighter, Freighter, he, why is she glowing looking at you? I, I don't know, man. I don't know. We were in the last class together. I don't know. Oh, Freighter, we got a show to do, okay? We got to be professional. I don't know, man. I don't know. She's really something. Freighter. Okay. Okay, Freighter. Come on. Okay. Okay, let's go over sit by her. Okay, okay, okay. And so now we got my other co-host here, S Duck. S Duck, how's it going? How's it going?
Well, hello, friends. It is I, S Duck, and Sweetie FRATER. I loved you playthrough of Duck Hunt. Those ducks look tough.
Oh, that's great, S Duck. Thank you. Yeah, those ducks were tough, man. I mean, ma'am. They go super fast. Freighter, did you hear that? She called you sweetie. I know, Mr. Peck. She called me sweetie. Oh, Freighter, you sure you shouldn't ask her out? I will. Okay, man. Hey, listen, I got this, man. I got this. All right, okay. I mean, I can ask on your behalf. Get the lightsaber down. I got this. It's my show. It's my show, okay? It's my show, okay? Like, okay, man. Like, listen, man. I got this. I got this in the bag, dude. I got this. Are you really sure you got this, Freighter? You questioning my leadership? Well, maybe I am. Oh, you better not.
The female clearly has affections for you, frater. Isn't the hesitation and elevated levels of fear. You are the leader of the Power Glove Congress. You can do this.
Did you hear that, Freighter? A freaking robot. A freaking robot on AA batteries just told you that you're hesitating. You're showing levels of fear. Now, come on. Well, I mean, come on. It's not, it's not levels of professionalism, to be asking your coworkers out. You know that, professional levels. Professional levels. We're villains. We're villains. Look at this picture of me. I'm smoking a Cuban cigar with sunglasses. You you are a villain, Bad Freighter, ain't you? Bad guy with a red lightsaber. A red lightsaber. You know, in Star Wars, that's the most evil person in the world. A guy with a red light. Well, yeah, I'm the host of the most, man. Wow, you're clearly showing fear and hesitation of me. I don't know, man. Listen, man, but we gotta talk about the games here. I thought we talked about. That's a good point. Okay, you got me. I'm back on track here. See, you've been hanging around those other guys. You hanged around those other guys too long. They like their storylines. That's a good point. They do like their storylines. Okay. Yes. Oh, yes. Oh boy. And you've been hanging around those. What was the Glenn Farfingers and the Butterfingers and the Curly Joes and the oh yes. And then also I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna kind of like call you out on something. Oh no, you're gonna call me out. Yeah, and you're doing this like Doctor Who thing, like on the Four Finger Gaming. Like, I mean, look, yeah, that's your show. Wow, it is my show, Freighter. This is your show. I understand. Well, yeah, but then you're like crossing the line. Oh, I wanted to hit that delete button. Yeah, yeah, but then you have to bring back Dark Milo, and you know what happened last time. Ah, yes, yes, yes. Yeah, he kind of took over the show. He outsmarted me. He used that Billy, and he turned him into a. He took over my computer. Oh yes. See, you need to listen to me. Okay, but that's stuck. Don't worry about that. That'll pan out. You need to understand show structure. Like we just started here in July of 2025. We can't just be jumping the shark, all of a sudden, you got to build it up, like, and also, I mean, understand, if we're hooking up, we probably would have to get married. So, that would mean, yes, yes, that means it would be very complicated to run a Nintendo show, a retro Nintendo show in a very domestic environment. Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't do it right away. You do it later. Okay, well, all right. So, yeah, so, S Duck, yeah, like, what would you done better, with Duck Hunt? Like, like, what would you do?
Shooting the ducks using your mouse looks pretty hard, to be honest. So if you did invest in a mouse-controlled game gun, that would make things more authentic.
That is a good point. And S-Duck, I will flat out will tell you that I will be honest, it's very challenging playing Duck Hunt with just a mouse. Like it's there's three things going on. It's your brain, there's the cursor on the screen, and then there's a triangular effect because you got your brain, the mouse, and the cursor on the screen. So it's like a synchronization of all those three things at once aiming at the duck. So it's like a reaction. It's like a muscle reaction in a lot of ways to get those ducks. It's actually it, it's really a cool thing, But you are right that that really in the end, I think it's because the only reason why and I could buy one, but especially since money's been pretty good lately for me. The only reason I don't is because I just don't really play Duck Hunt maybe ever anymore. I used to play it all the time, and it's just to justify the purchase. You would need to be playing all the time. So to talk about now, what's going on in the rest of the show is we are going. Well, of course I am. I only bring on another person in case something happens, like the technical issue we had the last episode, where apparently I had to go to the bathroom really bad or something, and yeah, you you kind of like left the screen on for like a 2-3 minutes or something. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know what happened there too, Mr. Pack. Yeah, that was weird. Okay, so yeah, that I don't recommend that. So yeah, that happened. Um, so yeah, so the game later today, it is going to be Wild Gunman, that we're sort of continuing on the process of doing some of the NES shooters. I figured that would be a good follow up to Duck Hunt, and we'll see what happens. I don't know if I play Hogan's Alley. I can't remember. Um, yeah, yeah. So well, there's really nothing else really to cover, Mr. Peck. Yeah, we're pretty much, like I said, we're still getting used to all this. We've, here at Sattergraph Productions, we deal with constant change. We deal with constant struggles, and well, I think we're always struggling to return back to a certain point. I think that's what the commentary is about all our projects, is we're constantly just trying to get back to the days of just doing this, to focus on actually talking about Nintendo games. And I feel very strongly the thing that led us astray is we started talking about modern games. Uh, I could disagree, but all right, that's your view. I mean, well, right, like I know you like new games, but you don't understand, like these classic games are. I would rather just play this all the time, Mr. Peck. I don't understand you. I don't understand like why I mean the new games, yeah, they look pretty. But it's still the same thing. It's basically, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's gonna kind of hurt you, Mr. Peck, because since I think you deserve a little hit. Oh, you think I deserve a hit, huh? Well, I sometimes think I should hit you back sometimes. Oh, I can. Oh, well. First off, hold on a second here. I got kind of a shitty game chair. Those things don't last long, Frater. Okay. So first off, all these modern games, all it is Grand Theft Auto 3 over and over and over and over and over again. Oh no. You're caught me. Yeah, I caught you. Ask the question, what's the difference between that and that? Other than just, yeah, maybe some better gameplay. It's the same concept. It's a 3D guy running around. And once you come to understand that, your world starts to crumble because you start to realize that, the only thing difference is them changing the backgrounds. Maybe, yeah, they get pretty. They get pretty, I mind you. They get pretty, but hey, it's the same concept. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead play well Gunman here. Okay, we are back and we are playing Wild Gunman. So this is another one of those original black box games I had as a kid. It was the first game that I got with a zapper. Unfortunately, the traditional NES zappers were sold out at the time. This is unfortunate because it meant I didn't get to play light gun games as much as kids in the future where the light gun came with the system as part of the action set. So the zapper I had was a wireless zapper. It had a receiver that went to the NES and wasn't the best. It was a third party thing, and I used batteries, and I didn't really use it for very much. I didn't have Duck Hunt back then. I really wish I had, even if I had to wait a little while, if I had like the action replay set, that most kids got, where they had both Super Mario and Duck Hunt and a light gun. It would have been way better. So, back in the day, Wild Gunman, I used to even set up where I create my own holster and stuff like that. It was kind of fun. And I had Wild Gunman. And, there's two ways to play it. You can either play it easy, you could just have the guns, directly aimed at the screen. The problem about doing that is that's kind of boring. It's more of a game of who can pull the trigger the fastest. Or or you can try to actually draw, try to or another way I used to do it years later is when I was an adult, I had an NES zapper in a cafe tube TV. I would actually I would actually aim. I would actually put the controller down on a chair and grab it as quickly as I can and fire. So you see the time. There's the gunman, and then there's you, and then there's the time. You're always trying to get the gunman before it gets you. Like for example, there's 0.62. So I win because I'm still faster than he is. But if I fail to meet that time, boom, you're dead. So as long as, but the thing you got to look out for when he comes out is look at his time coming out. If he's like 0.40 or something, like 0.80 is like slow, very freaking easy. You gotta make sure not to be too twitchy because you don't want to, you don't want to, okay, he's a .40. .40 is brutal. And if you think you're going to just grab the gun and go boom, you're not going to be able to pull it off. .90 is freaking easy. Now, the way things are right now, like with .40, you're pretty much, that's when I would literally say, well, if you just want to win, you might want to just have the guns directly at the screen and be ready when it says go, because I'm sure as you keep doing this and you go for more rounds, it's going to get worse. This .40 thing is just brutal, and it's... Now, as I kind of mentioned, I'm trying to actually just talk about the game from the perspective, like if you were to run this on an original NES and stuff like that, and really gotta get a new game chair. So when you look at the perspective, you always trying to be faster in that time. Now we talk about with this playthrough. This playthrough, its struggles is you're dealing with a mouse. You're not dealing with a light gun. So this is even harder. Now you'll notice that they are very generous with this. Like one's a minute 30, a minute 60, or 1.60, 1.30. That's very easy on you. But like you hit one and the other. So this could get tricky, I actually would say with a mouse that with two gunmen, it's kind of impossible, because you really need a light gun, because the speed with a light gun is going to be so much greater. I think what it is you have, like, of course, obviously you saw I shot the .90 before the 1.10, and it makes sense. It makes sense you would do that, but for some reason you're just not fast enough, and the mouse, it's not going to be as good as, and you need to understand, when I play Wild Gunman, I try to play it like, it's a Western shooter, it's a 12 o'clock noon type of thing, where you're trying to, you don't grab your gun until it's time. Now, this is another mode you can play, but it's hard because you don't have that reaction time. I don't know, it's hard to control the mouse. It's really hard to control the mouse. You need a light gun. So for this video, it was kind of a wreck, because I could play with one gunman, but to play with any more than that, you just get wrecked. And it's because it's not built for a mouse cursor. And so, you can kind of see I was kind of going, well, what the heck am I going to do for another 12 minutes or so? I only went 21 minutes on this because I kind of went, oh boy, I could keep practicing, and you could kind of see I had some struggles there trying to aim it right. I think what it is like, clearly with a mouse, you can't do it that way. You gotta, see, foul. I accidentally shot early. which is kind of funny because it's like, oh, well, that was against the rules. Invalid file. Dystopia error, invalid file. Yeah. They might, the emulator might as well say, look, buddy, I can't handle this light gun shit. You either get a light gun that has like mouse cursor technology, and then thus you plug it in your computer. I actually had one at one point. Like 20 years ago. It's crazy to think 20 years ago, yeah, you could have easily gotten a light gun with mouse cursor technology. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, you could actually do that. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I have memories of that. I remember playing like Mad Dog McCree with it, and it was fun. It was so much fun. And I remember playing with I don't know what I'm doing there. Oh, I was going back to play Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Okay, we're gonna go back to playing Duck Hunt, guys. I better make a note of that on the file. That Wild Gunman and Duck Hunt, or else I'm gonna get confused when I make the YouTube video. Actually, there's 2 games. Oh. And we're back to clay shooting. I was actually doing pretty good with this last time. 1,000 points, 1,000 points. Yeah, the reaction time with the mouse is better with this. With Wild Gunman, nah, it didn't really translate. Like, and maybe really, to be honest, maybe it was just, I don't know. I don't think it's the same thing. It doesn't work the same way. Like, you need there was a company I knew that made something like some kind of light gun, but that would be something to look up. I don't play video games all the time. I know I try to stay in character with this one, but I don't play games as much as I used to. Sometimes it's kind of project based. Sometimes when I play something, but used to have a neighbor used to do clay. Used to shoot clays. That was back in like the 80s, 90s. Well, so far just missed one. That's pretty good. This is one of those games, I didn't I would say when it comes to the NES, I have 3 different eras of the NES. The first one, of course, is when I was a kid. The second was a teenager, when I remember the Video Game Exchange finally opened things up, where they would actually allow people to trade Nintendo games in, NES games in. And of course, at the time, that was like what? Like what? NES? It was because you're trying to be, a hip kid, you're trying to be like, well, I'm all about the future now, full motion video and sewer shark and stuff, But then it's like, it was great because the games were cheap and, and you can, I remember picking up finally at long last, I get to actually own Kung Fu. That was the first ever Freighter versus Retro was Kung Fu, actually, and good game. It's a good game. repetitive, you know. But then a lot of games were, you know, a lot of games were fairly repetitive for their time, and yeah. Round 7. Well, round 7. We're doing pretty good here, guys. I like how it doesn't show my cursor though. I mean, on it's not showing my cursor on the recording. I'm not entirely sure how I'm shooting this stuff. Okay, not bad. I mean, the rounds go fast. Because, you know, you don't have that dog getting up and going, It's kind of a good it's a good game because then, you know, you don't have to deal with the dog and you can just focus on, you know, the clays. By this point, it's getting really hard. Gets kind of harder to really nail it down. You're getting round 9 now, and okay. And that round didn't go so well. Oh man, I don't know. Let's see what happens here. Well, that's close. Round 10. Almost didn't, very good. Now on to round 11. $2,000 points, 2,000 points, 2,000, missed one. As you can see, they're getting faster. They're, you know, the target is getting smaller. It's tough, you know, but round 11, I hit that. Actually, I gotta admit it, this one actually, but I'm gonna have to put a note down that this was not all Wild Gunman, but this was Duck Hunt too. So, you know, as far as a retro, you know, a retro channel, you know, you wouldn't really expect, you know, light gun games to be covered, but it's just hard because it's with a cursor, you know. Oh, game over. That wasn't good. It must be that the last few must have really kind of nailed me. Well, you know, as far as the commentary, that'll be it for tonight. For now, my throat is pretty much well shot. So, well, so doing 2 ducks. That's tricky. That's a lot to deal with. But yeah, I think that's enough. You know, I'll be back next show and see what's going on. Okay, see you then.